So typically to record everybody on a business, at least they need one ERP application, right?
Yes, sir. Actually, currently I'm working in a company, so they are migrating to S4 HANA.
Very good, very good. But now, technically, I'm speaking. If you are an end user, okay, if you are an
Yes,
end user, there are few transaction codes are replaced. Let's say simple example. You might have a vendor or a customer, right?
yes, sir.
In S4 HANA, it is CVA, Customer Vendor Integration with a Business Partner. Okay. So that thing, how it will be impacted in a business side, that you can learn. But my point is, as an end user, you don't see a big change. A big change you see is Fiori. Okay. If your customer is going with a on-premise implementation or a cloud implementation, you don't know. If at all it is a on-premise, the way of working is different. If it is a cloud, the way of working for the accountant also it's different. Okay,
Yes, sir.
I'll show you what is the difference between. But as much as you know, if they are going with S4 HANA implementation, they'll come to you for some requirements and some testings. Okay, as you are a end user, right?
Yes, sir.
Be part of that transition. You will learn little. Okay, that
Yes, sir.
helps you a lot. But make sure you concentrate these 2 months here well enough, and we'll put that experience as for HANA migration experience also will put. Okay,
Okay, sir.
so and I'll explain you how the migration process works in IT side, and how we connect with the business, that and all I'll explain you. Okay,
Okay, sir.
first, exactly you listen all the classes and understand the base. Okay, base is important. It might take you go through the videos 2 times, three times. It's not an issue, right? You just sit and watch and understand. Okay,
Yes, sir.
I'll just explain you on a plain scenario. So, as I was telling, anybody need a ERP application, right? Anyone? So, there are many ERP applications. Why SAP application has become popular? It has more advantages, right? If you compare with other ERP application, it is good. This decision is taken by most of the multinational companies. And if you're talking about a multinational companies, the business he might be doing in a different countries, he sits in one place and he can access the data anywhere in the world and he can see the reports, right?
Yes,
That
sir.
sort of ERP applications are requesting by multinational companies. That flexibility and functionalities we have in a SAP application. And if you see, when SAP started, it started in 1972. That is the history slide I've explained, but we'll go through it. Okay. So
Yes.
basically, in SAP application, there are three roles. So one is consultant. You call it as a consultant or a developer, and we call it as, let's say, functional consultants and technical consultants. Okay,
Yes, sir.
and we have another terminology like a end user, accountant, or a business user. Okay, so actually, who builds it as per the business requirement, that person is a consultant. Okay, so
Okay.
without building it, it cannot be accessed. Let's say you have money, you buy the application, software application. It will not work for your organization immediately. That is impossible. So, be it any company, whoever buys it, they need a persons who are having a knowledge in SAP. They have to hire that people. They have to get this implementation done. Maybe in 8 months, maybe in 12 months. Sometimes it will take 18 months also. How big your company is, how many process you have, right? Based on the implementation period will be different from company to company. I mean to say client to client.
Yes, sir.
So once that is done, in a sense, it's not only one phase. Okay, in a development also there are different phases, right? First you have to understand the business, then you have to implement, then you have to do some testing, Then again, dedicated testing team has to do a testing. Once testing is passed, again business will do a testing. Before that, you have to conduct a workshops to the business because they don't know SAP application, right? You have to conduct a workshops, tell them, hey, this is how SAP application works. As we understand from your business, this one, two, three, four, five activities are there. These activities you have to perform like this. Go to this transaction code, uh, input these parameters. We have to explain everything, right? So
Yes, sir.
once the workshops are done, they are familiar with the SAP system. They start the unit user acceptance test that we call it as a UAT phase. Okay, in any project, that phase is very crucial. Once UAT is approved, because business will test, if they agree, they approve, then our job is done. Done in a sense, maximum 80% of job is done. So once the testing is done, we obviously move our changes to production system. Production system means the system where real-time business runs, right?
Yes,
End
sir.
users will use that system from then onwards. And if at all any issues comes, let's say maybe a 40 days, 45 days after a go live, let's say March 1st is a go live for our
Yes, sir.
project, I'm just thinking. Okay, from March 1st onwards, business started using SAP only. They don't use their old system. They'll have a deadlines, they'll stop using whatever issues. Initially there will be a lot of issues in a new system. Okay, so to handle that, in IT side, we have a hypercare period. Initially, a 40 days or a 45 days based on agreement. Whatever issue comes to your production system, as a consultant, we know entirely, we build it, right? We have to work very, proactively that 45 days, and we have to make the system stable for our business. So from then onwards, there will not be any issues, right?
Yes, sir.
There will be issues, but not that big issues. If any issues comes for a production system, there will be a support consultant. Already I
Yes,
explained
good
in a,
consultant will
yeah,
be active in that cases.
correct. Already I've explained this in a system landscape, right? How the system landscape will be based on a system landscape. What are the different job rules? Different IT partners will be involved, right? So accordingly, who selected for that contract, they'll support the production system also, right?
Yes, sir.
Now let's talk about SAP. It's a system application and products in a data processing, okay? And it's a ERP system, enterprise resource planning. Why we call it as enterprise resource planning is as an FI consultant, as a controlling consultant, if you're there, it's not possible to run entire organization. Organization means it's a group of functionalities, group of teams, group of people, right? If everybody works, then only you will get the desired results. Everybody to work, whatever a platform, whatever a software application you are using for your business, that application should have all modules, all functions, all the departments, functionalities also enabled thoroughly, right? Because what happens, one department will interact to another department, and that is how the business runs. In SAP application also, we have that flexibility between the functionalities to functionalities, so that is the reason not only SAP, be it Oracle or any other ERP applications, why we call it as it has a entire enterprise related resource planning, everything you can do it easily, right? That is what the ERP term called. So now coming to our piece, we have a FI and CO model, right?
Yes, sir.
So FI is a key thing. Why it is a key thing? I always talk about external reports, right? External
Yes, sir.
reports are
Yes.
your P&L account, your balance sheet account. If you fail to submit your P&L and the balance sheet accounts, nothing, right? If you say you are doing a legal business, ultimately you need these reports, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
second opinion, you want to activate a controlling module, you don't want to activate a controlling module. This is the secondary point, but you don't have any option to skip the FI module. That is the reason FI module On FI module only, you'll have a 70 to 60% of the jobs. Okay, let's say 70% of the jobs in a market is related to FI, including a little 30% or a 40% of a controlling knowledge. Okay, controlling said most of the functionalities the organizations will not active. Why? Because what is needed by my what is needed for my organization, I have to activate that much only, right? So, which is which is not useful for my organization. Still, I am activating. It's a no of use. If I'm not using a functionality, why should I activate the functionality? Right? Not needed. So, wherever you need, let's say you have a product manufacturing, thoroughly manufacturing you are doing. Your let's say you take a cars manufacturing company, Tata Motors. You take. So if they are manufacturing, they want to know the product price, right? If they're selling Tata Nexon, if I sell it, if I manufacture it, what is the production cost? If I buy some semi-finished raw material, if I assemble them, if I sell it, what is the profit? I need to know, right?
Yes, sir.
Then that companies need a some little product costing. For companies, let's say who are not bothered, not manufacturing a product, for them product costing is not needed. For them, profitability analysis is needed. Let's say I'm giving an example, right? It is depends industry to industry, but good to know everything and be ready. If you learn and if you're not doing, obviously you will forget, right? Since
Yes.
last 1 month and 10 days, whatever activities you are doing, you remember them only.
Mm.
But here, how it goes is you should know, you should learn, and you have to recall it easily. If you learn it, and if you don't know the solution, how to find out that skills also you learn here. Okay,
Okay.
so an organization, let's say, if you take myself, okay. So every day, whatever the challenges, whatever work I do, sometimes it's not also a repeated. Every time it's a new for me also. So what I have to do, I have to understand how can that be handled. There are ways to handle everything, right? That skill set is important that I'll make my students to learn. Okay. So here the main point is my intent was concentrate both modules, but do little more on a FI module. Don't take it for a granted in a controlling also. I am telling both you have to learn, but you might have a more chances to get job in a FI module. Got it?
Got it, sir.
Okay, this is what we have written, and let's talk about a team. How the team will be formed in an organization. As we discussed, there are functional modules, there are technical modules, right? So if you talk about the functional modules, you should have a clarity. Okay, these were called as a functional modules. What are the functional modules? Material management, sales and
Yes.
distribution,
Yes.
Hmm. Human capital management, project system, FI, and controlling, right?
Yes, sir.
So why do we call them as a functional modules? Because the functional knowledge is remains same, be it any ERP application, whether you are learning SAP, Oracle, Tally, whatever application it might be. But whatever a functional knowledge, whatever a fashion you have, it remains same, right? Let's say I am a commerce graduate. By definition, I know what is a debit, what is a P&L account, what is a balance sheet account, right? What is a
Yes, sir.
vendor, what is a ledger. I know these definitions. So that is called functional knowledge, right? With your functional knowledge, which functional module suits your functional knowledge, people will select that module and they choose that as their career. Got it? In this case, we are in a accounting finance domain. So we choose the functional modules which are related to finance and controlling, management accounting, right?
Okay.
Somebody is interested in a HCM, HR related recruitment, professional tax, and the statutory things also, professional tax and the provident fund. So if he is interested in gratuity, if he is interested in that piece of functional knowledge, he might choose HCM module, right?
Yes, sir.
Somebody is interested in a pricing and he want to understand more on a pricing side, calculation of a price, discounts, net price, gross price. If he is interested in a pricing side, he might go for a SCM and ST. Okay.
Okay,
The
sir.
person, somebody is more interested in material management, how the materials are organized in a right manner, if we keep in which order we can find out easily, and how to store the material, everything. If he is interested in a material management, then he'll go for a material management, right?
Yes, sir. This
That is
all modules integrated in one system, right, sir?
correct. That we called as a ERP system, right?
Yes.
ERP in a sense, it's a group. It's not only one department, not only FI and CO. It's also including all the functionalities which are perfectly needed for a organization. That is how we take it, right?
Yes, sir.
And yes, we'll talk maybe a little later. Every module is tightly integrated with FI module. Why?
Yes, sir.
Why means if you buy a raw material in a material management, what basically you do, you buy a raw material, you process it, you make a final product, right? So,
Yes, sir.
so whatever raw material you buy, finally the raw material will come to your organization. You have to pay money. Money is about FI module, right?
Yes, sir.
That is the reason your MM module is integrated with FI. Let's say coming to the sales and distribution. You produce the finished product and you sell it to your customer, right? You have pricing, everything is enabled. Okay, you have integration with the production and planning PP module also. Okay, if you write PP, this is important. Production
Planning.
and planning. So you have a production planning, they'll use the raw materials from MM module, they process it, they produce a final product, and they'll give you back as an inventory final product. Inventory final product is again your FI module, right?
Yes,
Balance
sir.
sheet asset. It's a current asset, your finished product. Then that finished product you will sell with the sales and distribution model to the customer. Once you sell it to the customer, obviously you receive a money, receivables, right? Current asset. That
Yes,
is
sir.
again your FI module, right?
Yes, sir.
Then an SCM model, you have what? You have employees, you have to manage their salaries, their provident funds, everything. How you maintain, how you pay it from a FI model only, right?
Yes, sir.
So project system is little related to, let's say, project wise how they capture. Let's say project in a sense. Let's say I'm taking one example. I am into construction business. I'm building various ventures. Okay, various ventures. Maybe venture A in LB Nagar, maybe venture B in SR Nagar, venture C in Banjara Hills. Okay, so if I am doing that kind of business, some companies want to consider every venture is a project. So particular project, how much profit I am getting, how much revenue I am getting, I want to reconcile based on a project. Okay. In that time, all the financials, whatever financial you post, for that financials, we assign one project number. This is project systems, completely different module. Okay,
Okay.
completely different module. Maybe it's not good for you to understand what is it now. Okay, maybe later once you're done with FSCO, you start your career, the next step you better to learn project systems.
Think, these four modules will be better much involved in these modules, right, sir? PPA, MM, SD, and HCM.
These four, yes, these four are the core modules.
Yes.
These were tightly integrated with your FI module.
Yes, sir.
Another thing is,
PS module is first time I'm listening, sir.
which module?
A project system.
This is a different module, and a specific businesses uses this module, and it has a more demand. If you have a FICO and project system combination, if you're that profile, you are a hot cake in a market. Okay, so it gives you a lot of weightage for your resume, but not now. You first have to start your career in FICO, then you learn project systems. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Because I am a project system consultant also, I have this knowledge. So I have done the certifications also in these three.
Okay.
Okay, that is the secondary thing. Now you talk about this plain scenario. All these are the main important modules. These modules will get the feed to your FI module, right?
Yes, sir.
So now coming to the controlling module, how does the controlling module get the data? Any idea?
No, sir.
Uh, so controlling module will get the data from your FI module. That's all. In a controlling module itself will not have any new data. Okay. Whatever data you process in FI module, that data will go to your controlling module. And also the entire FI data will not go. In FI you have a PNL, you have a balance sheet, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's say if there is an expenses, vendor expenses happen. What is the accounting entry for a plain scenario? Vendor expenses, let's say be it any expenses, okay? Expenses data,
Data
you
to.
add one cost object, right? Be it a cost center, do you add internal order, right? For
Yes, sir.
expenses GL, without adding a cost object, it will not allow you to post a transaction. Is it right or wrong?
Yes, sir. Yes. Right.
Yes. You, for expenses related GL only, you give the cost object, be it a cost center or an internal order, maybe two, maybe cash or a bank you are paying. Directly you are paying, don't think. Otherwise, maybe vendor, maybe ABC vendor. From this guy, we procured that expenses, okay? You credited this vendor, right? If we talk about for a balance sheet vendor, do we need a cost object? No, we don't need it, right? So if you see, if you post like this in FI accounting entry, this is a PNL, right? Expenses is part of what? PNL account.
In.
So by posting this accounting entry, you don't know how your external reports will get updated. If you concentrate from today, you will get to know accounting entry. Posting a right accounting entries makes your external reporting done. Got it? Your external reports will get updated values correctly. If you post accounting entries correctly, if you do accounting entries wrongly, your external reports will show wrong results, right?
Yes, sir.
Now this is a balance sheet, right? This is a balance sheet. Vendor is what? Accounts payable, right? It's a liability under balance sheet. So you see, by posting this accounting entry, your PNL is getting updated, your balance sheet also getting updated. But when we are talking about this is a FI module, right? This is a FI module. Now talk about a controlling module. Controlling module will get the values from your PNL account. This values only it will get. So what basically we do there, we just analyze how cost is incurring. So what we manage in controlling, what we control basically cost, right? If you nobody is monitoring a cost related to expenses, cost center wise, what happens? There can be a possibility of we go over expenses, our income will be reduced, and there will be a situation we might have to close our business, right?
Yes, sir.
To avoid that only, we need a data which is passing from PNL, which is passing from PNL from your FI model will reach to controlling. In a controlling, once the data reaches here, and also to reach from FI to controlling, you have to do some configuration again. Got it? That is where a basic controlling knowledge you need. Once the data reaches controlling, there are few other activities also. You have a syllabus here, you have a syllabus here, right?
Yes, sir.
So, but main thing is you don't think nothing will be gone directly to controlling module. You always think for a controlling module, whatever accounting entries you post and a P&L side only, balance sheet values never goes to your controlling. Only P&L related, how your expenses, how your revenues are generating an organization, that stuff only we maintain clearly, we manage it, and we get generate some reports, we publish it to management so that they'll review, they take some important decisions. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Now let's come back. So when time comes, we talk more. This is just an understanding, okay, today.
Okay, I thought they're in evening shift now, sir.
They're in a evening shift. They can join in a morning shift, right?
Yes, yes. They committed to join 7 to 8, but I think they forgot. I think.
This might be a reason I'm thinking they might be forgot. Anyway, I sent a mail. At least from tomorrow they'll not miss it. Okay,
Yes.
because I have to go office, so I cannot go to evening sessions.
Okay. What is your shift timing, sir?
2 to 12, two
Two
to
to
ten
twelve.
thirty. But basically some rush is there, so I'm searching 2 hours also.
Okay.
Yeah, afternoon, let's say 2 p.m. I'll go. I'll return 11 p.m. and I'll stretch 1 more hour and so.
Okay.
So there is a reason we skip it. Okay.
Actually, you are in FICO module, sir. Like your consultant.
But to be honestly, whatever we learn as a standard, that is a base, that is a foundation, right?
Yes, sir.
In real time, nobody uses SAP standard. Okay, they ask for a lot of customization. What is mean by standard? What is mean by customization? How it will work? You will understand by end of this course because I'll tell you maybe 15 to 20 days purely real time scenarios only. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So that time you will understand what is a standard, what is a customization, what is a configuration document, or else a customizing document, what is a functional specification document, what is a unit test document, what is a system integration test document, how many types of testings you have, what are the different phases you have in the implementation, before S4HANA, the implementation, there are methods in implementation we call in a real time. Let's say maybe you heard ASAP methodology, right?
Yes, sir.
ASAP methodology, waterfall methodology, agile methodology. Now in SAP S4HANA, we have activate methodology. Okay. So why the methodologies is needed? What are the different phases we have in the methodologies? What exactly we do there? Uh, Everything you get to know. Okay,
Okay.
that is important more, right? If you know these all languages, all terms, you never feel it's a new for you once you join an organization. Also, you can talk very easily with the colleagues who all are already working in SAP also, right?
Yes, sir.
That is more important. Okay, coming to other things, important things in SAP is SAP platform works in a ABAP language. What language?
Above
ABAP
language.
language. This is a programming language. Okay, SAP knows ABAP program only. Whatever action you do, whatever a screen, everything is connected to one program. Okay, so the functionality, how it has to run, if you post the, let's say, simple expenses we posted here. If you have activated a controlling module, what are the fields will be enabled, how system accept entry, how the values will get updated, everything was designed in a above program. Okay, so what all the functions you have in a SAP, every function, every activity you remember, always that is connected to one ABAP program, right?
Okay. If any client require like customized posting entries, also we have to drop an email to programmer. So customize this entry to post this in system, right, sir?
Correct. Let's say we'll take a simple example. Maybe you are using FB60 if you're in accounts payable, right?
Okay.
FB60 you use, MIRO for integration invoice you use, right?
Yes, sir. It's the non-PO postings.
This
FB
is a non-PO, you call it as, and this is it with the PO,
PO
right?
postings.
You post this. Let's say you want to see few more fields in a Miro. You want to see a extra field, right? So this Miro transaction is given by SAP. What all there you will see there only, them only, right? You will not see any additional.
Yes, sir.
and you want to see a new extra field, maybe a quotation number, PO only you are giving, maybe PO quotation number you want to give. Let's say example, okay, be it anything. Based on a quotation, how many purchases orders are linked. Based on that, you want to post the invoice.
Okay.
So yeah, you were saying you will send a mail or you will ask a ABAPer to do this, right?
We can't go directly, right, sir. We have
Ah,
to approach first a FICO consultant, then he will go to above.
okay, okay. So you are a FSO consultant. You think now you don't think you are an accountant. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So if you are an accountant, you have to put your justification, how it process. If you are associate, maybe end user, you reach your team lead. Your team lead will reach a manager. If there is a real-time business requirement, then only they'll approach IT, right?
Yes, sir.
That is a different story. Now think, as you are an IT consultant, if there is a requirement, business is asking to bring that field, new field, then you should not send a mail to ABAPer, okay? First, you need to understand this and you need to prepare a functional spec or a functional solution design or a document, okay? We call it as a FSD, functional specification document. In the document, you have to explain clearly, you have to write down, maybe it's a Word document, okay? Normally, we use functional design document as a Word file. We have to write clearly what is already there in a standard SAP, what is missing, what is extra we are asking in that Miro transaction, what are the fields. With the screenshots, with the explanation, you have to write in detail. Once the
Okay.
document preparation is done, you just have to connect with one of the ABAPer. Okay. ABAPer and a team means you cannot directly go and ask. There is a hierarchy, right? First, you have to check with your team lead in FSCO. Once your team lead tells you only, you prepare a functional design document, first of all, right?
Yes, sir.
Once that is
And
done,
after preparing this functional design document, we need approvals from client and our project managers, right, sir?
client already given approval.
Approval.
Okay, client already requested, then we are executing that. We are in a process of delivering that process. Okay.
Okay.
Project manager approval is not needed. Okay, that is different thing. But if you have a business requirement, yes, take the business requirement, discuss with your team lead in FICO, do prepare a functional design document. Then your team lead will arrange a call with ABAP team. You have to explain this functional design document. They have to understand 100%. If they didn't understand anything, they'll request you few changes in a functional design document. You have to modify them. You have to hand over it to the ABAPer. Then he'll agree. He'll accept your FSD document. Once
Okay.
that is accepted also, while he is doing a changes in a program, basically program needs to be enhanced, right? In this case, maybe they'll create a different T code, ZMIRO. Got it?
Okay.
ZMIR something.
Okay.
Because the
This
transaction,
also a Weber will be created, sir.
ABAPer only will create, ABAPer will create a program and this T code will be given by your basis consultant.
Okay.
Okay, because basis
I think
cons
I understand like a program will be created in this T code, so we can use in this T code while end user, right, sir?
for end users, let's say for which job role this transaction code needs to be assigned and what are that things, Abaper don't know. That is not his job. Okay.
Okay.
He'll just take one T code as a dummy. He'll take from a basis consultant. He'll use the transaction code. He'll complete the development. Then he'll confirm to basis consultant. This is now
Okay.
ready. You tell me which transaction code we use. Then who all are having a Miro transaction code, they should have access to the new transaction code also, right?
Yes, sir.
That things will be taken care by your basis consultant. The functionality will be created by ABAP and the transaction codes part will be taken care by your basis consultant. So there are a lot of alignments and real-time process you need to understand, right? step by step. Got
Yes,
it?
sir. Got it, sir.
Okay, so this is the ABAP program. ABAP programmer, in a sense, in any project you have ABAP team size little more, little big only, because they have to support all the functional consultants, right?
Yes, sir.
So that is the reason they have a more number of people, and in a projects they blame like whatever a functional consultant is talking and giving, I am not understanding. These are the common complaints we receive in a projects. And functional consultants will say, we have given all the requirements, still they are not developing. They are taking time. I don't know what is happening. And the big thing is, once they develop it, as a developer, as a consultant, you have to test it thoroughly, right?
Yes, sir.
Various angles you have to test. What are the angles you have to maybe scenarios you have to consider. That thing I'll explain you. So sometimes that also fails your entire development, right? If you don't
Yes.
know thorough, if you are not doing a thorough testing, it will definitely impact and will be in a trouble, right?
Yes, sir.
These will be common things. Then leave it. Then that is done. Next, with the SAP S4 HANA, there is a new job role has created. Before we don't see if it is SAP ECC, we were not seeing Fiori consultant job role. Okay. Now the people who is having a ABAP experience, they are learning Fiori skills also, so that they have a more demand in a project, right? And they have a more salary also. Otherwise,
So,
what happens? Yeah.
sir, can you explain me like what is the difference between ABAP and Fiori?
Ah,
Difference.
Fiori. I'll tell you. This is a ABAP program, right? So for what we are doing, this is ABAP, and in Fiori we have a OData services. OData services. This is a background database. Okay, this is a database, right? This is directly connects your database before.
Okay.
Now Fiori is a web-based user interface. What is mean by user interface? You know?
User interface, when we'll open the SAP, so it will come user interface, right?
Whatever screen, let's say, if we are not talking about SAP, if we are talking about Excel, whatever screen you are seeing, this is a user interface, right? User
Okay.
interface, graphical user interface. This is how it is projecting. This is how we are reading, we are understanding, right?
Okay, sir.
Every screen is a graphical user interface. Means that screen how interacting graphically with you, with your eyes, right? That
Yes, sir.
it means. Yes, if you log into SAP application, the screen how it is appearing you, that is a graphical user interface. For this, we have a CDS views. Based on a CDS views, it is appearing with the above program. So there was no need of Fiori consultant here. If we log into the system, see, if you're happy with this screen, this is a traditional screen. SAP
Okay.
has started, yeah.
It's a standard screen, sorry, right, sir?
We call it as a traditional GUI because tradition. Why we are calling tradition? From a born, when SAP is born, from then this screen is available. With this screen only, users will interact. Maybe a consultant, maybe end user, anybody, right?
Yes, sir.
So if I go to FB60, so maybe I'll give some company code. If you see, every transaction has linked to one ABAP program. You see, SAP MF058. This is a program, right? This is a ABAP program, right?
Okay.
With this program, the entire functionality, how the screen will be populated, what are the fields the user needs to fill. Once he fills it, how the data get posted, accounting entry, how it will be captured, where the values will be updated. Everything was step by step, detailedly was written in this program. Got it?
Oh, got it, sir.
Now this is the traditional. This will run purely on ABAP. In between, there is no additional software, additional functionalities are involved. If you have
Okay.
ABAP knowledge, you can manage the ABAP programming in a traditional GUI, right? Now let's come to the S4 HANA. New thing is you have a new GUI, which is a web-based GUI. We call it as a Fiori. If you be a accountant also, as accountants also, they should learn Fiori now from now onwards. In S4 HANA, you have two ways. One is a traditional GUI, one is a Fiori, latest GUI. See, the minute I am coming, this is a web, right? Here also it is asking
Okay.
my username, web1, and
This
I
interface is called like a Fiori, sir.
this is a Fiori.
Like
This is a
when
Fiori.
we'll go through by link, it's called as Fiori.
Fiori. So for every system, maybe you have a production system, right?
Yes, sir. We will use this screen, sir. Fiori screen.
Okay. Maybe few activities you use it, right?
No user interface, no, sir. We'll log in this page and we'll get on PD system and P1 system, PC1.
That is different. That is different. That is not the. That is a log on. They've created one web-based URL. That's not a Fiori. Okay.
Okay.
So you have this button, right? You have this button.
Okay.
Instead of this logon button, you can add this connection details in a one web page. And the minute you click that, you again see this screen only, right? This screen only you will see,
Okay.
not this screen. This is entirely URL, right? Here only your SAP is now. You see everything, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Here, if you want to post FB50 or FB60, here you have a tiles, and under each tile you have a different apps in a sense, different functionalities. This is like a bank clerk who is working in a bank. He has this kind of screens to open your account, see the balances in your account. This is a web based. You see it different. Now you go to the app finder. Let's see the same transaction code. What is the transaction code we tried? FB60, right?
This is
This is the traditional. The same screen now we'll see in a Fiori. Fiori will take a minute. It's and this will run on a OData services. If it is different component as added with the Fiori, so if you want to enable something in a Fiori, let's let's say some values in a traditional GUI is not showing in a Fiori. That is a common question, right?
yes, sir.
Whatever you have here, whatever you have in this tradition, the same values you should see here also, right? Theory also.
But screen is changed in
Screen
Fiori.
only change, but values should not change, right?
Yes, sir.
Value should be same. User experience only change, right?
Yes, sir.
If at all anything is not synced between both, we need a person to tell us what is going wrong, right? Yes. We need a
Yes, sir.
person in a Fiori what is going wrong. Somebody to tell. That person is Fiori consultant, right? He
Okay, sir.
dedicatedly understands how data is coming from your traditional GUI, SAP main core to your Fiori, where it is going wrong, and everything he has to work. And also not that. Let's say in traditional GUI you have this functionality. FB60 is enabled. Okay.
Yes, sir.
If
Sir,
you go
in this screen we can find commanding toolbar here, but in Fiori, where will can find, sir?
In Fiori, you don't have a command field. You have to find apps. You go to your profile. You just click on your profile here. You see there is a app finder. You don't have here command fields and all. Here the
Okay.
language is different. You have a tiles. Under tiles you have a apps. Like that you have to understand. Right? If both are same means what is the difference? Right?
So, how can we find here FB60 T code, sir?
That's what I'm showing. You see, this is your profile, right?
Yes, sir.
You don't have a T code. No more T codes in Fiori. Remember, you have to find out the T code is replaced with the app. App. You have to find out which app you should use. You just click on here, app finder. You see a search button, right?
Okay.
So here you have to type the right description vendor invoice, right? So it can be a right name, it can be a wrong name. Here it is showing wrong name, right?
Wrong name.
Then you are in a situation. Then what is the right transaction, right app for a FB60? Then there is a way you can go to Google SAP Fiori apps library. You type. What is it?
Ops library.
Yeah, you just type it. You just click on here. You will see all the apps related to that, and also you can understand little more technical side also. What is Fiori consultant will do, that language also you can understand here. Okay. Now
Okay.
you just click on all apps. All apps. You see. So far, how many apps are there? SAP has given
15,800.
832. These apps were given for all the functional consultants, not only FI and CO. You remember,
Okay.
okay? Now
Like
we'll
all modules.
all modules for different activities. Let's
Okay.
type FB60 now and understand. Enter. You see what is it? Create incoming
Create.
invoices, right? The app name is Create Incoming Invoices. Now you know the name, right?
Yes, yes. I
And
think it's yeah, T code is a easy way to get it
find
working.
out the right app you're saying.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes that way it will not work. You have to anyway find out your the description only. Okay. There are vice versa. Sometimes you don't have. Let's
No, sir.
say
I mean to say like a previous standard system is better than now, sir.
no. You have to adopt the new things. You have to understand, right?
Yes, sir.
You see, I just typed FB50. What is the transaction code FB50? Post a general transaction, right? GL
Okay.
transaction. You see, the related apps are showing here, right?
Here both the apps are showing like a POSI document, postal general ledger, and
And you tell me in F-02 also you can post the vendor invoice, right?
yes, sir.
And FB50 also you can post the transaction. F-02 also you can post the transaction, right?
Yes, sir.
What is the difference there? The screens are different, few fields were different. That's all, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Likewise, here also in Fury, you have a different same purpose can be delivered with a different apps also. That way you can take, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let's go to here. This is a app, create incoming invoices. Now you click it, it will show you. See, it is also asking a company code now, right? Did you want to just click on it, continue. Got it?
Yes,
This is
sir.
a screen. So the screen is similar to your traditional GUI screen, but this is you are working like in a particular software application. You open a screen, you are working like you feel, right?
Yes,
But
sir.
this is not like that. Like you are working something, you are browsing on a Facebook or Instagram, right? Right? That feel you have here, right?
Just a screen is upgraded, but all things are same remaining.
All things are same, but functional should work same, right?
Yes, sir.
And if you want to understand entire process, what exactly this app about, you just click on here. The entire the process also it will explain you. So what is it? Why it will, how it will work, and everything it will explain you. And if you're talking about some technical stuff, every Fiori app is connected with OData services. What is it?
O data
OData
service.
service. That is not a functional thing. That is a technical thing. And also important thing is business rule. This is SAP BR AP accountant. If you want to access this Fiori application with your ID, you should have this role enabled by basis consultant. You remember, it doesn't
Yes, sir.
mean that all Fiori apps will not work for you. Likewise, in traditional GUI also, you don't have all T codes access, right?
Yes, sir.
Likewise, here also you should have the right role is assigned to your profile. Otherwise, it will not work. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So there is a O data services where it is. Somewhere O data you can see it. Where is it?
Backend components above.
1 second. It will be somewhere, not here. Here only. Component version USPO. This is O in a sense S4 HANA O data services only, but it will be written little detail. FB60, FB60. This is technical catalog. Okay, this is a business catalog groups. Let's go to the post screen. Maybe here this is only O data services. For few apps, it will be written little more detailed. Okay, but that is useful for Fiori consultants, not at all for us. Okay, but if you
Okay,
want to
sir.
understand technical things also, you can understand here. But as a functional consultant, what is the advantage you have is if you don't know how this T code works, now you have a detailed view. You just click on detail view. There is a process wise diagram also explained how this works and all. Where is it? Why it is not showing? Let's try with the different T code. It's stuck actually. Okay, just go back. Detail view.
It's taking time, I think.
A Fury will really take time because still SAP is doing a little more improvement on this. In real time system also we have to wait 2 minutes, 5 minutes, sometimes more also.
Oh,
Okay, what I just want to show you is it will show you a process related diagram. Maybe in a BPO how the process you have, right? Standard SOPs maybe you have, right?
it will take time means in postings also it will get a lot of.
Postings it will not take. To get everything ready, it initially taking time nowadays.
Okay.
Okay. So whatever process flows you have, right? Every process you have a document, right?
Yes, sir.
That documents no nowadays we no need to prepare here. With S4 HANA, best advantage is whatever a documentation you supposed to prepare on every project, you have to hand over it to the business accountants, right?
Yes, sir.
That process is taking lot of time in implementation time. Then with the thought, SAP has decided, okay, let me give you the documentation prepared and give you. Then it is common to everybody, right? If SAP is preparing a process flow and giving means everybody understands easily, and it's it saves our time actually, right?
Yes, sir.
Let me show you here. It is not coming. Let me show you one more app. Margin, uh, gross margin. Okay, let me see whether, yeah, you see a process, right?
Yes, sir.
This much detailed information, if you're populating about an app, there will not be any further questions, right? If you don't know how this app works, also by seeing this, you can understand. You typically you can read a lot here. It explains you what exactly this Fiori app is delivering you, right? I'm just example. You can learn what all the apps you do. You can learn and you can understand. And another advantage is in your traditional GUI, do you see anything reported KPIs? It's not possible to see there, right? But you see a report with the numbers, columns, rows, right?
Yes, sir.
In Fury, with the use of Fury, you have a KPIs, key performance indicators. KPIs means, right? Maybe you talk a lot in a BPOs, I guess. You have a KPIs. Based on a KPIs, you guys have to work. Your KPI should not go red, always green, right?
Yes, sir.
Error percentage or something like that.
Yes,
Like
sir.
that. Yeah. Like that, in a Fiori, best advantage is so how many so many invoices we have posted, how many are outstanding, how many are outstanding based on a year's 30 days. Like that, you have a bar charts, pie charts, you can see in a diagrammatical way. Maybe we call it as analytics, right? Analytics. If you see
Okay.
some analytical view, the understanding of a business is more easy for a end users, right?
Yes, sir.
That is another advantage in a Fiori. It is not there in a your SAP ECC. With the latest, the world has changed. This app also gives you good feel and look for the users, right?
Yes, sir.
So likewise, there are many things you need to understand between SAP and ECC one by one. It's a phase learning, right? So we'll understand. Now coming to the now you got the idea about a Fiori consultant. This is only in S4 HANA, right?
S4 HANA. Yes, sir.
Not in SAP ECC. In SAP ECC technical side, you have only ABAP and basis you have for a SAP admin related. So SAP admin related, somebody has to install SAP application, right?
Yes, sir.
It has to connect to the server to the database. Somebody has to maintain, take care of a SAP system, right?
Yes,
If
sir.
somebody is taking care of a SAP application, then only it will allow for anybody else, all the function module, ABAP module to use it. It has to exist, right? And sometimes maybe due to some wrong configurations in a system, whatever activity you are doing in F5, maybe you have started doing some configuration for company code. It's taking hours of time, very slow. It's loading. Are you able to work? No, right?
No, sir.
Then that is not a program issue. That is a application issue, right?
Application issue.
Then
Yes.
we have to connect to basis consultant. This knowledge you should have, right?
Yes, sir.
That is a real time. If you are facing real time this and if you don't know whom to contact, then you are fail, right? People
Yes, sir.
can easily identify you are a fake candidate, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
That things we will understand, and also you could not able to log into SAP system. For say you are trying to log into this system here only. The minute you click here, it's not coming like this. It is throwing an error. Connection is failed. That time
Yes,
whom
sir.
to contact? You have to
Base.
contact a basis consultant, right?
Yes, sir. Why? Because they'll only give access to us.
Correct, correct. But for now, you know it's a error. I am not able to log in SAP. I've raised an incident, you tell. But you are learning now as a consultant, you know in a consulting who will handle this ticket, right?
Yes, sir.
That is important. So keep on watching your videos. Okay. Let's connect the regular stuff once these guys comes. If at all any doubts, you will connect. We both will connect and we'll solve the things. Okay.
Yes, sure, sir. Sir,
And